Good morning, everybody. Welcome to winter 2021. I'm excited to see all of you, and I really wish I could be seeing you in the flesh, but we're starting to get somewhat used to doing this type of ceremony and ritual on our Zoom meeting. So I really do enjoy seeing you all. I hope you've seen that I'm going to be doing my very best to serve as a speaker, master of ceremony. I've got really great help. That's in the form of Kathy Demetriou and Rhonda DeLong. And then I'm also going to try to do my best to monitor the chat, which I've already started doing, and I can see all of you engaging on, and I welcome you to do that. So let's go ahead and get started. It's winter semester 2021, and I'm excited to see all of you. As I mentioned, this is the second time we've hosted the State of the College on Zoom, and I hope that we'll be back on campus very soon. We'll be talking about that a little bit more as we proceed throughout the next several minutes. But until then, this format works, and we're going to keep using it as long as we have to. And I know those of you who are leaders and instructors, and almost all of you know exactly what it's like to do your job on Zoom, and so I hope you get a chance to enjoy seeing me try to do my job here on Zoom. If you want to turn your video on, please do. If you want to use the chat feature, please do that as well. I will do my very best to answer questions during this presentation, and if I can't, I'm more than happy to respond to questions, as always, any way you want to reach out to me, and I'll do my best to gather those that you see in the chat that I don't end up getting to. I also want to introduce some VIPs who are in attendance today. We are led, as you all know, at the college by our board of trustees. There are a lot of people here in the meeting, and I haven't been able to check off all that I see, but I do believe we do have trustees Jim Thorpe, trustee Roxanne McDonald, trustee Adel Mosip, and trustee Mary Petlichkoff, the last two of which recently won election, and I congratulate them. We also have outgoing trustee Mary Lane in attendance. Of course, you know trustee Mary Lane and trustee Dr. Michael Mead retired from the board in December, and we now are welcoming two new elected trustees, that being Pat Ambrosio and Irene Watts, to the board. And as we bid adieu and said thanks to Mary Lane and Dr. Mead at our last board meeting, I thought it would be an appropriate occasion to invite them to make a few comments at this last State of the College after they're leaving the board. And we've also put information on our website about both of their tenures, and I invite you to check that out. So upon the invitation, Mary Lane, trustee Mary Lane, was gracious enough to be willing to address the college after having spent almost 20 years representing the Dearborn community and leading us as a college, and frankly being a good supporter of mine and the college for many years. So it is a distinct privilege and an honor for me to introduce you and reintroduce you to our longtime trustee and say thank you for your service, trustee Lane, and we're more than happy and excited to hear how you're doing and your thoughts about your tenure and anything else you'd like to address to the college.
I think it's becoming traditional to start every speech on Zoom now with asking, am I on mute?
I can hear you, trustee Lane, and you look great.
Okay, so hello, everyone. Good morning. Happy New Year, Henry Ford College community. From the right side of the toughest year of my life, 2020, I am so happy to say goodbye, 2020. So, as President Kavalhuna just said, some of you are probably wondering, why are we seeing her? Isn't it 2021? Am I in a COVID fever dream? I thought she got off the board, that old biddy, but I suspect that Russ couldn't get Kamala Harris or Big Gretch or Betsy DeVos for this speech, so instead you got me. So thank you, Russ, for inviting me. It's really nice, actually, to address the college community. Not the best circumstances, but I'll pretend I'm addressing you. And hopefully you'll stay awake that long, because the speech is only going to be 3 or 4 minutes anyways. So hopefully you can get through it. I do want to welcome everybody. It's a new year and I'm really excited about it. I do want to spend some time to reflect on my 20 years, not all 20 years, just a little bit of it. but I want to go over some mistakes or successes that we've had. Mostly what I want to say are just two simple lessons. And I think of myself as the ghost of college past, and then make a comment about the ghost of college future. So I talked to some of my colleagues, past and present, on the board, talked to some other political people, and just was thinking about a long time at the college. We've been through a lot. But thinking that over, I realized my biggest takeaway is that we have the genius of collected humanity. And by that, I mean that we have a method of decision-making that has served us well and puts us in a good place. By that, I mean that we get a group of people, either your work units or us as a board, like a jury or like a team of rivals. You put together people who would not pick each other. We wouldn't pick to be in the same room, but as a board, we're put in a room and we're told, here's your issue. You have to make a decision on this. We debate it, we thrash it out. We don't like the decisions. We might not even like being together with each other, but ultimately we come away with something. Generally speaking, if we're given data and if we have respect for each other, the decisions come out pretty good. With that thinking in mind, we have to keep and value our marketplace of ideas, our free speech. Everybody has to be able to speak. Everyone, the least of us to the top of us. And we have to respect each other. The decisions will be good. So if we talk to each other more and about each other less, that's a good thing for 2021. Not all of our decisions. I'm sure that all of you can think of plenty of decisions that have not been so great. Some of the decisions that people don't think are so great actually have worked out better than we thought. But not all of them are great. So I would ask you to think about a decision. And I know that you've all made decisions as groups, like over what cleaning products or the building or an appointment, a reorg, and you've thought, oh man, I'm not in agreement with that decision. But I've seen that the arc of time straightens out curves in the road. They say the arc of justice is long, and that's true. It takes a long time for justice. It takes a long time for decisions to bear their fruit. But ultimately, I do think that we learn, and look at us. We're a college that's an octogenarian college. We're 80 plus years old. We've been through world wars, we've been through depressions, recessions, epidemics, and now a pandemic, and we're still here. And I think we're in a good place for decision making. When I think about this, the first thing that comes to mind is the thing that I love so much about the college graduation, and that was singing the song, and I know I'm going to screw up the Latin. E plural omnibus for the good of all. You all could sing that correctly, but
not bad.
It's awesome. Kevin Dewey's now laughing about my singing. I know that was pretty bold for me to sing on Zoom. But those decisions that are bad get corrected for the good of all. I would just want to add to you this line. By the good of all. When we participate in decision makings, it's by the good of all, for the good of all. So those are my two lessons. We all know that the future is going to be really challenging. This next year is going to demand a lot of us, and we really have to make the best decisions in the next year as a college, as a country, individually as people. We need perseverance by and for the good of all. So there's going to be a new federal administration. We're going to have immune people walking amongst us, which is going to be great. The vaccines will get here eventually. There will be a new Department of Education, and there's going to be a new mood in the country, and things are changing. So across the world, things are changing. Learning is probably going to be not all virtual. Maybe we'll be able to develop, and I challenge you, develop a new mix of the hybrid learning and in person. We're not going to see everything all at once, but we will see change. We're going to have a new strategic plan at the college. So please involve as many people, everybody participate. It's very important that we do that. We're going to have Dr. Jill Biden in the White House, and she's going to focus on community colleges. I believe that we will be one of the colleges in the spotlight, so without a doubt in Michigan, we definitely will be. So we have to be ready for that challenge. We have to be ready and be ready to show, wouldn't you know, I'd get a phone call. We have to be ready to show our students and their success. So when I think about that, our first future for frontliner will be amongst you. One of your classes is going to give an A to one of those people. And that's so thrilling. It's really exciting to me. I can imagine now that we're going to have a COVID-safe graduation, and we'll have all the banners there. Russ will carry the big mace. You know, we'll have all the symbols that everybody loves. We'll be renovating our buildings. We'll be updating our courses, the curriculums, instruction. I'm going to be thrilled to be one of the first diners at 5101. I can imagine there's going to be a diner number 1 and number 2. I hope those diners are a donor maybe, and maybe a nurse. So it's going to be a thrill to see all of that. I can't predict anything else about the year to come because this last one has been way too crazy. Nobody would dare to go down this road and make predictions. But I do know that we can weather this year. And I want to personally thank everyone for the efforts that you've made during this year, your friendship to me and to all of each other, the corrections you've made to our mistakes, and your perseverance. I hope you'll continue those in the year ahead. If you do, we will get there, and we will get there in great shape. Thank you very much. Best wishes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Trustee Lane, and Happy New Year to you, and I hope your family as well. I hope you enjoyed the gift from the college, which we tried really hard to make sure was meaningful to you. And I invite you to check out the chat where some of your erstwhile colleagues here at the college are sending their appreciation to you. And of course, you have my appreciation. I'm glad to have served with you, and I look forward to your support and your advice as we proceed through the college's next difficult several months, and hopefully, as you mentioned, getting back to some of the opportunities where we can celebrate. And I certainly will expect to see you at those big celebrations. Colleagues, I don't think you would allow me to have a state of the college without a few slides to look at. So I will start doing that now, and I will ask my trusty colleague, Ms. DeLong, to tell me if the screen sharing I am doing looks clear, and if there's anything I can do to change it to make it look better.
It's good.
All right, thank you very much. I promise, folks, I will not kill you with PowerPoint. In fact, I'm going to continue a trend, which is that I will not be the only person talking at you, and hopefully we'll actually have some time to interact between each other. So this first slide is my reminder for you to please consider being involved in this State of the College address. Don't hesitate to use the chat feature, and I'll do my best to respond to those. I also want you to know that if you just simply can't get enough of listening to me on Zoom, you have a chance to do it 2 days from now at the first Friday for January. We're doing those, and recall if you have been there, that these are open forums with no specific agenda. And the first one of the year is this first Friday, 2 days from now. And if you're interested in attending, please do. I would be happy to see you there. I also want to give you a couple of reminders about a couple upcoming events. One, right on the heels of this State of the College, will be 10 minutes after we finish here, and a different Zoom link will have the faculty organization. And then tomorrow at 10 a.m., the Faculty Professional Improvement Committee, or PIC, will host a conference for all HFC instructors entitled Inclusive Teaching During Uncertain Times. If you're interested in that, you should check your inboxes for invitations that would have been sent to you from Vanita Perek and Tessa Betts, excuse me. And I also enjoy each State of the College giving you an update on new teammates that we have on our team as a result of the last time from September to now. And those are before you now with their positions. And I just miss being able to be in the big room in the forefront with you all and call these names and see my new teammates. And the best I can do to replicate that is actually say their names, because that's a really powerful thing to say, you're my teammate. Christopher Berlan and Dan Blue and Shubhashini Shadrasekar and Nicholas Krosky and Lori Dunford and Marissa Ferrari and James Giovanni and Hannah Hatala and Brad Hauk and Francis Heaney, Charles Irish, Kenneth Janot, Shane Mayhew, Renee Moore, Massimo Pizzino, Melina Singh, Jay Storgaria, Marcus Taylor, Brittany Underwood. And in the same venue of announcements of our teammates, I want to congratulate several of my teammates who have achieved tenure. We have April Falardu, and we have Sherry Klenzar, Shirley Missy Mata, and Jennifer Stewart. I also congratulate Luke Cosenza and Amy Helling for their new roles at the college. We've also, of course, seen new leadership come to the college. We have a new Associate Dean in the Health and Human Services School, Dr. Cindy Scheuer. I would also like to thank the outgoing Associate Dean, Debbie Szymanski. I thank Debbie for her dedicated student-centered service for the last 38 years. She has served as the Associate Dean since 2017, and Debbie has decided to retire from the college. I wish her every happiness and a well-earned retirement. I will miss running into you, Debbie, handing you a chocolate and a pat on the back, and I hope that that is something we can continue to do when it's safe. Of course, incoming Associate Dean, Dr. Scheuer is not anyone who should be new to you. She's been at the college for 18 years, and she's served as the clinical coordinator and program director for the Physical Therapist Assistant Program. She's also been the faculty chair for health careers and served on many committees and task forces at the college. I remember Cindy in my interview for the position I hold now in my first interaction with her. So I've known her since I was an applicant for the job, and I've always enjoyed and appreciated her positive attitude and focus on students, and I look forward to working with her in this new role. I also want you to welcome someone who shouldn't be a new face to you. Larry Smirsky will be the interim and is the interim dean of the School of Liberal Arts. I sent you a note about Larry in December by email, and he has, of course, you all know, been teaching math at the college for a very short time, about 27 years. And he has served in the administration and on many councils and committees during that time. I have to confess a little secret that Larry and I share. Back when pre-COVID days were around, I would pop in his office and run ideas by him, and usually benefit from his advice, telling me when my ideas were really crummy. And he was always a good sport to not broadcast that. But I'm in all seriousness, I know him to be a calm and steady, student-focused leader who will serve the liberal arts students and teammates well. And I really do thank you, Larry, for taking on this unique role. And I do hope that we'll be able to announce long-term plans for that position sometime in the spring. We have had retirements at the college, and we've had a lot of those, not surprising as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. And I invite you to check out our employee news website for stories about some of the individual retirees and a list of all who retired in December and those who will be retiring this spring. We also have some elections to report and some congratulations for your collective bargaining leaders. In alphabetical order, I would congratulate my friend, Dr. Lynn Boza, for her reelection as president of the AFO. I'm eager to continue our working relationship, Dr. Boza, and I congratulate you. I also congratulate President John McDonald on his reelection as the leader of AFT Local 1650. This will be his 22nd consecutive term as the group's elected leader. That'll take him to his 42nd consecutive year as president. He was also reelected as a vice president of the National AFT Union. And I know John doesn't like it when I regale you with tales of his longevity, but I just need to say it's pretty astonishing, and it is worth commenting on. I congratulate you, President McDonald, and I look forward to working with you as you continue to lead your unit. Our teammates at SSA elected Leslie Winless to her first term as president of their local. I congratulate President Winless, and I look forward to meeting and working with you also. And of course, last summer, you'll recall I sent an email noting that our teammates in Local 71 elected Joe Zitnick to his first term as their leader. I congratulate President Zitnick. I thank him even just this morning helping me with a technology issue. And I look forward to working with you. And I just ask that we don't have to talk about college football, particularly Notre Dame, until at least next year, because there were some football teams in this state that weren't as successful. But in all seriousness, I do want you to know, presidents, I congratulate you, your leaders of your units. I know all of you. I look forward to working with all of you and work together to support our employees and our college thriving together. We are now in our 10th month since this pandemic started in August. And back then I talked to you about some of the things, the pandemic started in March, but in August I talked to you about some of the things that have changed and some that have not changed. And sometimes I've asked you to focus on both categories. Through all the changes I've learned, we have both learned as you, my teammates, and me, we've learned to adapt and grow. We've become very good at providing excellent services that cannot be delivered in person. And I know this continues to be hard on you. Even as you embrace the challenges and all the struggles, you keep students at the forefront. One thing that has been made clear to me since the middle of March is that this pandemic is not going to define us. Now, it's going to throw us challenges and continue to do so, and it's going to continue to cause us pain. In fact, it's taken people away from us. But it has provided us some opportunities to grow and change. And everything that we did was toward the core purpose of changing lives through education, changing lives to make better futures. And we still do that. We always will do that. We will define our future at no amount of external change. We will continue to make our future as what we make it. In fact, we have doubled down on our determination to find new ways to define excellence and to stretch our own capabilities to reach our students where they are. You know, I look back and I really do believe that we're a stronger community. We're a stronger college as a result of the last 10 months. You should all be very proud of what you have accomplished as a team, not allowing yourselves to lose heart or to be distracted from doing the important work in front of you. Your work changes lives. I know that because I still interact with students all the time. Just as thousands of students who started school, continued studying, and graduated from Henry Ford College in 2020. We have a new group coming in next week, and I know, and I'm proud that you'll continue to do what you did for those that were proud to have graduated during a pandemic. I've summarized our mission in 4 areas of success in past state of the colleges, and I believe these areas will continue to define our future. And I believe they're all important. I've got them here for you. They shouldn't be a surprise. And if you ever see me or us wavering from these, reach out to me. I want to hear about it. I will communicate with you frequently. I know that you hear from me a lot. And I want you to do the same. Communicate with me. Good communication is something I've committed to with you, and it's a two-way street. I will always listen to you, and I will always respond to you because you're my teammates. And I believe that you deserve that, and it shows that I have your back. We've done some really great things to serve students. And for this state of the college, I'm not going to be breaking out our accomplishments down by department like I have in the past, but I do want to share with you a few statistics that highlight some of what you have accomplished. As a college, we have given away food, supplies, laptops, millions of dollars, all so that we could meet our students where they are and help them succeed. We have helped almost 2,500 students graduate in this past year. Our enrollment services team has done fantastic work. They have handled tens of thousands of phone calls, Zoom appointments, new student and dual enrollment orientation sessions, and assessment tests. Our teams have collaborated to reach new groups of students and to make our services as efficient as possible, as some departments are operating with fewer teammates than they had a year ago. I appreciate that. I know it, and I am grateful for that work. We're also advising and counseling students and prospective students in a broad scale of collaborative ways. And we're working to keep everyone who needs to be on our campus as safe as possible. You probably noticed some of the media attention about our Futures for Frontliners collaboration with Eastern Michigan University in December. This is a program that will help the most deserving, the people who served us on the front lines. And we hope to welcome several hundred of these students who will either start or continue their educational journey through this state-funded and state-supported Futures for Frontliners program, which will start for some of the students next week. I want to thank you, all of you, who have worked so hard to do whatever your students needed from you. I know you'll continue to do that, and I'm proud of you for having done it so far in these very difficult times. It wouldn't be a State of the College unless I talked to you a little bit about enrollment. And a year ago, we were celebrating our first enrollment increase in more than 8 years, and there is no denying that that pandemic, really, it's changed that reality, at least for now. We are seeing declining enrollments across the country. That's no surprise. And the reason there's an asterisk on this slide is that we know that there will be a deregistration today, and the number of credit hours will decrease. So we have to conduct that deregistration every semester. In fact, we do multiples of those. And I use this to say to you that we are working with students so that if they happen to be in a place where they have unmet balances, they will be deregistered and they may be re-registered. But we're in the process of continuing to find a way to climb that hill for enrollment. And I tell you, we keep an eye on enrollment here and at similarly sized institutions because like us, we've watched that their numbers have gone down. Now they're down, those similarly sized institutions are down from last winter between 7 and 18% as compared to last winter. I've got the information about us here before you. And so while our percentage is concerning, it's also very much aligned with current trends. There's a lot of reasons for this. I think more and more time will show us what they are. But I suspect they'll all be either directly or nearly directly tied to the impacts of the pandemic. And we haven't just sat back and watched that. In fact, last year, a group of faculty and staff led by Dr. Tony Perry conducted a student satisfaction survey to figure out how we were doing in this pandemic. And nearly 500 students responded. And what they told us was not surprising, and it was a little bit hard to read sometimes, but I share it with you because it's important to know we're actually trying to learn and adjust as the pandemic is rolling over all of us. And some of the student feedback came into themes. No surprise that they preferred face-to-face classes rather than online classes, and that some of the students suggested that the classes were moving too fast or they were too hard, or some said that there was too much homework. I'm not so sure if that's a result of the pandemic, that complaint. But I have to admit to you, I'm being a little sarcastic there. But seriously, the students also noted that there were distractions that were making it more difficult for them and that there were no options for going to libraries. They wanted more meetings and more office time. They wanted, and they struggled with personal issues and health issues. Many of our students actually dealt with COVID themselves or with their family, as many of you have. And they needed more financial assistance. And so I bring all these to your attention, but I'll last say about this survey that many of them said that they were happy about the way that you all were helping them, that you were serving their futures. Now, from this list of challenges, there are things that we really can't influence, and I accept and understand that, and we're doing everything we can in our power to influence those that we can. And so we're making adjustments, and we are providing encouragement and connections to assist those students who need more support. I'd also like to tell you about this event that the Strategic Enrollment team has put together. I asked them to work really in a tight time frame to figure out a way to help this enrollment issue and this rapid decline. And they came up with a rapid action plan at the end of last semester. Now, this plan was intended to do anything they could to positively influence enrollment. And as a result, our numbers have steadily climbed, and I'm optimistic that they'll continue to do so. This great work done by the STEM team will continue in the coming months, and the team will be looking for your big ideas, your best ideas. So reach out to them and tell them what you have in store for ideas to help this enrollment issue. We have 5 days until the winter semester starts and 12 days until the enrollment period closes. This weekend, our enrollment services team will hold their third Cyber Saturday to encourage enrollment. We might not be able to meet our goal this semester, but I am hopeful that we will get close. And I want to thank you all for the tireless effort that you all are making on this important issue. Probably also, there some of you would not expect to stay at the college without me talking to you a bit about the budget at our college. That is something I know that some of you don't focus on, and I don't blame you, but it's something I do focus on, and there's not a lot of news on that front. We, of course, projected to be down 5.5% in enrollment, and we beat that in the fall, and we're working to catch up to that in the winter. But I have to tell you that I believe we will be able to continue to operate the college as we have for the first 6 months, as we continue for the next 6 months. I don't have any terrible bad news on the budget front, is what I'm saying. But we do have some things to celebrate. And the good news is about a major renovation of the tech building, which we are calling the Entrepreneur and Innovation Institute. You'll recall 2 years ago, the state approved us to begin planning this renovation. But as we completed our planning, the pandemic caused the legislature to question whether we should be approved to begin the construction. Not as a result of anything we did, but as a result of the tight budgets in Lansing. But I'm excited to announce that in late December, the legislature and the governor did approve funding to begin the construction, which delivers $6.8 million in state funds for the project. This means we can begin construction in 2021, and I want you to keep looking for more exciting information about this as it comes forward, and I'm hoping we can put up a webcam so that you can see the construction progress in real time. I really want you to know how proud I am of the people who deserve the credit for this. There are a lot, but some of them certainly deserve to be underscored. They are John Satkowski, Michael Nealon, Reginald Best, Ruben Bruckley, Jane Sekalaris, Pat Chapman, and Mary Flick, who've made this a reality. And it's true, and it's important that I recognize leaders who are no longer at the institution who had a hand in making this years-long effort a success. They are our former president, Stan Jensen, and our former vice president, Cynthia Glass. Now, what are we looking at for winter 21 and beyond? You know, the Department of Health and Human Services in our state issued guidelines in December that made the start of the winter semester a bit uncertain. And I say that probably with an underscore. But to avoid disruption, we decided to begin the semester on time next Monday, but to eliminate in-person instruction for the first 2 weeks. So starting January 25, the classes in trades, tech, hospitality, and health professions that must be taught face-to-face will be able to return to campus with screening, masks, and social distancing, and other safety procedures in place. I know that faculty members are in those courses will notify students directly, and I appreciate you sticking with us as we try to respond to the ever-changing directives we're getting from the state and otherwise. I know a lot of you have questions. In fact, I just ran into a couple faculty members yesterday who had questions about this. Frankly, I have a lot of questions. I know you have questions about the distribution of the vaccine and how that will affect our plans. I have to tell you, I don't have any information beyond what you already have. And I will be asking the return to campus team, which includes representatives from your collective bargaining units, to reconvene and develop a plan that is aligned with what is happening in our state and our region to keep us all safe and to keep us achieving excellence for our students. Now, I am going to give you a break from the PowerPoint and tell you that in September, I really did believe that the best part of the state of college was when other people talked. And so I'm going to do some more of that now. And the best voices that were, other than mine, were from students and teammates. And I hope you agree, because this is when I will turn the mic over to them. I'm going to start with some of the students and their stories of success in their own words. And I hope you agree that this is our primary focus. And I give this to you as a message to say your work matters. You are changing lives. And when you see this, understand we are still making progress. So I'll ask Ms. DeLong to help me through the wonders of the internet, show those videos.
Hi, my name is Kiara. I'm a senior from Detroit, and I'm majoring in general studies in the College of LSNA. And just to tell you a little bit about my transfer experience, when I first started school, I went to a for-profit college, which basically took my money and didn't really do nothing but leave me in a bunch of debt. I was a little discouraged about school, but then I went back. And my grandmother got sick, so I had to take a break. And then finally in 2017, I enrolled at Henry Ford College, and it was just like one of the best decisions I had ever made, because prior to that, when I attended Macomb, I had no support. I took a lot of classes that didn't count for anything because I didn't know what I was doing because my mother didn't graduate high school. And that was the first time attending Henry Ford I actually felt like I had the support I needed to succeed. And I did. I joined so many different clubs, but the three that really stood out to me was the African American Association, the Black Males and Queens Focus Group, and Democracy Institute. The Democracy Institute helped to promote civic engagement. The African American Association worked to promote workshops and opportunities for students of color to be involved and feel included, because it was a small percentage of African American students on campus. And the Black Males and Queens Focus Group, through there I joined and became a board member on the Michigan Sociological Association. I've been invited to several different schools, including Oberlin College, Michigan State University, and also Grand Valley State University to speak. As a field organizer, I host several workshops. Also, when I joined Optimize, I became a peer mentor for transfer students, and we host transfer student nights. We just promote the well-being of transfer students and work with them, whether it's helping them find their classes or working with community colleges and helping students prepare for their applications.
Hello everyone, my name is Prakalishu, and today I'll be reflecting my own experience during this fundamental speaking course. I am so glad that I was fortunate enough to be part of this class this semester. This course has been so helpful on a personal level and educational level as well. In the beginning, I was a bit shy and nervous, yet throughout every speech I have presented, from my self-introductory speech to my demonstration presentation, every speech helped me get out of my comfort zone. I became much more comfortable and confident with each speech. I learned the importance of public speaking. Giving a speech comes with a lot of responsibility. Being nervous is expected during any public speech, and the greater speakers like Abraham Lincoln have had stage fright. Before any public speech, you must have done your research on the topic you choose to discuss. Public speaking is a way of communicating. Your message should always be clear and direct with your audience. Always practice, be prepared, and think positive. My favorite speech this semester was a demonstration speech presentation. I had so much fun demonstrating how to do a charcuterie board. I realized how far I came from the beginning of the semester, and I was much more spontaneous and confident. However, this semester wasn't easy. My mother and brother, who I haven't seen in a year and a half, came to visit. Yet my brother tested positive for COVID. Since they came, they have been both in quarantine, and I didn't even get a chance to see them. And my older brother, who recently got discharged from the hospital, is now recovering from a very bad pneumonia because of COVID. I'm sharing these personal stories because I want to say that I'm so grateful to have had a kind, caring, and thoughtful professor like yourself. Each Saturday, you start the class by asking how everyone was doing, and that shows how much you care about your students' struggles. It was a pleasure and honor to have you this semester. You made this class fun and memorable. Thank you so much, Dr. Rogers.
The speech class has been amazing, and it's so sad to see it end. When I first started speech, I thought it was going to be boring and it was going to contain lame speeches, but I can tell you that is not true. Dr. Rogers made this class fun and formatted the speeches to where we can to make them enjoyable. Dr. Rogers is one of the best professors I've ever had at Henry Ford College. He is so understanding because if you were sick or something came up, he would give you extensions if you needed them. He's also very nice, and I can firmly say I've never seen him mad or in a bad mood while on Zoom, which was great because he made our class atmosphere amazing. I feel like this class made me better at presenting speeches and increased my confidence in presenting speeches. Because when we would have to present in Zooms, I would get nervous. But up to the last one, which was the T-shirt presentation, I can totally say that I was confident when I was presenting. And for an online class, this class was great, but I wish it was in person because I know I would have learned more, and ultimately it would have been a better experience. I still am amazed because I didn't think I would like this class so much. That's exactly why you should never judge something too early. When we made our informative speeches and our persuasive speeches, it taught me a lot on how they were supposed to be formatted, and it helped that Dr. Rogers showed us how to do it and presented video. Very interesting and great to turn in. Every speech was great, but my favorite was the TikTok one because we got to pick a scene and remake it, and I feel like it brought out the creative side of the students, and it was amazing. And it really does suck to see the class is over, but I hope I have Dr. Rogers as professor again. So thank you.
Thank you, Rhonda, for playing that. And I hope colleagues, you can't really say it any better than to have a student say, it really sucks that the class was over. I mean, that tells you how much a student was enjoying it. And think about that. I mean, this is a student, all those students were accessing what you're giving to people, which is a better future in a really strange time. And they're showing you that it matters. So I hope you find that inspiring, and that's why I bring it to you, because I see these messages and I know how inspiring you are to them, and I want to share some of that to keep you going. That is really what we're still doing. Now, I want to take some time to let some of our teammates talk to you about a new initiative that we have been working on for more than a year. And again, my trusty colleague, Mr. Long, will help me present those to you.
Good morning, HFC family, and Happy New Year. I'm happy to share and introduce our next presentation by Shay James Boyd, our Assistant Director of Advancement and Alumni Relations at our college. As you know, students are important to the mission and purpose of our college, but equally important are our alumni. In fact, it is the largest constituent group that we have connected to our college, those who have come through our doors and leave with a degree and or a certificate. So as we begin the new year, I'm excited to start 2021 with some positive news and the relaunching of our Alumni Relations Program at Henry Ford College under the direction of Shay James Boyd. Really, why am I here? Because we need your support. If you are an alum and an employee of the college, we want you to join the Alumni Association. Even if you're not an alum, we would like for you to be an advocate. Help us to get the word out and promote the Alumni Relations Program as an ambassador and just a voice of positive energy promoting the Alumni Relations Program in Henry Ford College. This is a phase of many steps towards the relaunch. With your help, we will continue as a college to be Hawk strong. I am excited. I believe you're going to be excited about the momentum that we're making as we move forward. So let's go Hawks, and let's turn it over to Shay James Boyd. Take it away.
Thanks, Reginald. I am so pleased to share that we have retooled, reset, and now we're ready to relaunch the HFC Alumni Association. Henry Ford is considered to be the premier community, one of the premier community colleges here in Southeast Michigan. And it's only fitting and proper that we have an alumni association that represents the level of excellence and superior education we offer our students here at HFC. You know, industry research shows that community colleges typically don't do a very good job of implementing programs. But I am happy to report that is not the case here at HFC. What makes us different is you. Did you know that 105 employees here at HFC identify as alumni? That number is phenomenal. And I'm looking for each of you to help me make this association a success. You know, as Reginald said, it really doesn't matter if you graduated here or not. If you love HFC, if you're passionate about student success, if you are committed to creating an unforgettable experience for students here at HFC, then I'm looking for you to sign up and become an alumni ambassador. Why is that important? It's important just because of the videos we just watched. It's important because you, my colleagues, understand that connections and student engagement are important. And they're helpful not only to the student, but to the future of our college. Ambassadors are going to help me plan exciting events such as our Hawk Talks and our Toast to the Tassel graduation celebration. And join me as we hit the road for our Alumni Roadshow. And that is going to be a lot of fun. But enough from me right now. I want you to hear from some of your colleagues, as well as a member of the class of 2021. Rhonda?
Hi, my name is Susan McGraw, HFCC class of 1987. I'm a telecommunication faculty member in the School of Liberal Arts, and I've worked at Henry Ford College since 1999. Once a hawk, always a hawk.
Hi, my name is Kathy Gangarosa, and I'm a full-time nursing instructor here at Henry Ford College. I've been here since 2006. Today's a great day to be a hawk, and in fact, I've been a hawk since 1989 when I graduated from the Henry Ford Community College's nursing program. Immediately after graduation, I moved to New York and I started working. The clinical experience that Henry Ford College gave me was the tools to not only survive, but to flourish in a busy medical surgical unit. I often thought that I was so far ahead than my other colleagues who had graduated from other institutions. Now, I may be a little biased, but not really. My education was top-notch and it was second to none. Some years later, I moved back to suburban Detroit and I earned my master's degree. I was working in the hospital setting, teaching both physicians and nurses, and still hadn't considered a career in education when the phone rang. Well, let me just say that phone call changed my life. I started as an adjunct clinical instructor and I loved it. So when the opportunity to come full-time happened, you know I jumped on that opportunity. Teaching the future of nursing is everything I need. Bringing students to the hospital and to the specialty that I love is everything I need. The bond between a nursing instructor and student is lifelong. The best professional decision I ever made was coming home to Henry Ford College. On behalf of the 105 Henry Ford faculty and staff, we are proud to be HFC. The Alumni Association is officially here, so let's get involved and continue to represent Henry Ford College. Once a hawk, always a hawk.
My name is Sophia Baydoun, and I graduated from Henry Ford Community College in 1992. I currently work in the School of Nursing and have been a proud faculty member since 2001. Once a hawk, always a hawk.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Tabor, HFC class of 1996. You may remember me from such phone calls as, "Help, my email's not working," and "Jeremy, why does my printer hate me?" That's right, I've been your friendly IT technician since 2000. They're gonna have to carry me out of here. It's a great day to be a hawk. He's supposed to be a hawk. And now he's walking away.
Hello, Henry Ford College faculty and staff. My name is Darlena Buford. I am a current student at Henry Ford College representing the class of 2021. I'm excited that Henry Ford College is here today to make the Alumni Association official. I am Hawkstrong because Henry Ford College offered flexible, affordable programs for adults like myself and returning students. My time here at Henry Ford College has been both consuming and enjoyable. I work full time and I have many other responsibilities. I have been afforded scholarships to help with my tuition, which increase my tenacity to continue my education. Although I am a returning student, I was able to connect with teachers and mentors who encourage and continue to push me to the finish line. When I graduate next year, I look forward to joining the Alumni Association. I want to stay engaged and connected to the institution that encouraged and supported me to pursue my dream of becoming a chief financial officer. Henry Ford College has played a tremendous part in who I am and who I am going to be. Henry Ford College has provided me with a strong foundation comprised of knowledge and life skills. I look forward to becoming an alumnus of Henry Ford College and becoming a bridge to help others cross over. It's a great day to be a Hawk. Thank you, Henry Ford College faculty and staff, for providing a place for me to spread my wings.
So Jeremy, you do know that your dog is going to have to become an unofficial mascot because that was just priceless. To my friends and colleagues, my HFC family, I really hope that you enjoyed those remarks from your colleagues, as well as from Miss Darlena Buford, who will be graduating this May. So again, here is what I need you to do. Get involved with the Alumni Association. Encourage your students to participate in alumni activities when they're available. And if you are in this meeting and you graduated from HFC, join the Alumni Association. And by the way, it's totally free to join. Most of all, if you have passion and school spirit, I need you to become an alumni ambassador. Applications will be going out shortly, but if you need to get yours now, just shoot me an email. They're going to be due by, February 15th. Now, before I close, I just want to bring this opportunity to you. It's an opportunity and a great way for you to support a great cause and get your HFC swag. Because as you can see, I like my swag. So the athletic department, as you well know, they host a pancake breakfast every year. And of course, because of the pandemic, they're not able to. But you can still support them and get your HFC gear. If you contact Rochelle Taylor, she'll get you the link, purchase your gear, you'll be able to help them and show your school spirit. Again, I am super excited to announce that the HFC Alumni Association is officially open for business. Happy New Year, and back to you, Russ.
Thank you, Shay. What a fantastic presentation and some great news. And I want to add my bit of support to this. When Shay came to me and said she wanted to do this, I said, well, that's great, let's do it, but shouldn't we wait until after the pandemic? And you can see why I was convinced when she said, no, we've got to do this now. We've got points of pride we can rely on. I'm ready to do this. I need your help, Russ. And so I said yes. And so now I'm asking you, help us to move this. I really think this will help the college. I know it will help our students, and I'm excited about it. And it's something that we couldn't wait on, which is a segue to something that we also couldn't wait on. And the next thing I'm going to talk to you about, and I'm going to share a slide in a minute, but I think I'm just going to talk to you face to face as much as we can do that now, because this is related to the campus culture associated with race, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we can't wait on this either. Last May, we all saw that George Floyd was killed by a police officer. In June, I released a public statement to our college and our community on the national crisis that erupted around race relations as a result of that terrible event. We also hosted an open virtual town hall on the importance of this topic and race relations on our campuses. I heard and felt things that surprised and troubled me. And these things told me that we as a college must work to fix parts of our culture that were hurting our employees and our students. The plain truth is that we must improve so that we truly live in a culture, at least at this college, where employees and students of all races and identities are valued and included in all that we are as a college. I need to talk to you, my colleagues, and repeat a July message that I put out. I want to directly speak to my colleagues who are Black and African American and to our students who are Black and African American. I want to repeat a bit of what I wrote. I can never fully know your struggle, but I hear your voices and I feel your truth. Thank you for the courage of sharing your feelings of anxiety and anger. One of my colleagues shared that watching George Floyd's killing is an everyday event in the lives of Black people in this country. As sad as it is, I know this is a true statement. My natural inclination is to find a way to share this burden, the truth that is in that statement. But I never will know how it feels to be a person speaking that truth from lived experiences. I said that, and some other items, which I encourage you to read again, back in July, and it remains true today. I've also heard your concerns that leaders must do more than just listen. They must act to address these issues. So, to all of my teammates, to all of our students, representing all of the wonderful, diverse identities that you show, I fully take on my responsibility to work with you to make our college better for all of us. I recognize that we must improve, and I am personally committed to understanding the problems and to working to fix them. So let me update you on the work that we have continued on this important issue. We have been hard at work to identify and fix these problems that you have helped me understand. And I am thankful that Vice President Reginald Best has directly helped me throughout this process, which began last summer. We started by asking a lot of questions. For example, what are the best practices in diversity, equity, and inclusion, also known as DEI? Should we look for any immediate steps right now, such as hiring a chief diversity officer? Is a climate survey the right place to begin? What questions should we be asking? How many of our issues center around race, and how many are intersectional or not related to race? I began meeting personally with multiple leaders in industry who focus on DEI. Reginald Best and other campus leaders joined me in interviewing 4 consultants because I wanted an objective, professional voice to help answer the important questions about best practices in evaluating our needs and crafting the right solutions. All 4 consultants told us that it would be a mistake to hire a senior DEI leader without doing the groundwork first. They unanimously confirmed that we needed to obtain baseline information and that the first step was to conduct a climate survey. Now I'm going to share a slide that will give you a little more background on some of this. Candidly, I worried that this might not be the right time to conduct this work. We were and we are struggling to respond to and work through a global pandemic that is keeping us from meeting in person on this important issue. But in the end, I concluded that this work on our culture is too important to wait. So we selected a team to help us build a climate survey, partnering with a company called Viewfinder, LLC. The team made sure that we understood DEI is not merely a race issue. It affects how people identify themselves and how they identify each other. It affects how people treat each other and how they perceive that treatment. Then we worked with various stakeholders to make sure our survey was asking the right questions about the world you see and the lives you live on our campuses. I am grateful for the many colleagues who helped me improve this survey so that it gathered as much meaningful information as possible. We engaged stakeholders from a wide swath of identity affinities, including racial identities, gender identities, sexual orientation, religion, particular needs, such as campus access and those utilizing support for military veterans and their families. During this process, we refined the survey many times. I met with several small groups and many individuals to hear their feedback on the draft survey. It took significant time and significant work by many people on our campuses, and in many instances, editing this survey line by line. But I'm happy because we've reached a final draft of this survey. One will be for students and one will be for employees. And we will open the survey to gain your insights starting January 18th. The survey will remain open for 4 weeks until February 12th. Viewfinder will collect the data and provide us results. I will share those results with you, and we can analyze them and discuss them together to help us make the best decisions for our college. I will send detailed information to you about this survey and how to use it, and I recognize you'll have a lot of questions about the survey. Another part of this information gathering will be to conduct focus groups to obtain even more information and insights. These will take place after we finish the survey. I know this might seem like a long process, but we know that we need to first gather your input and learn from your truth. Then we need to evaluate where we must improve. From there, we, as a community, will develop a plan to do just that, improve. All options are on the table. These include hiring a DEI leader, creative new initiatives, and other options that have not yet been explored. I don't come to this process with firm ideas about what strategies are best for us, and I ask you to keep an open mind and an open heart also. We will not rush this. It is too important, but you deserve assurance that it is not going to languish. As your president, I commit to you that we will learn about our weaknesses and we will build real ways to improve our college. If you want assurance of our seriousness and our commitment to transparency and action, look no further than me. You will see me leading this effort and inviting your participation. If anyone must do this work right, it is us. It is our college. We must show our students how the best institutions and communities handle these difficult problems. With thoughtful analysis, inclusive processes, and deliberate action focused on our unique needs. When I met just yesterday with the Black Employees Association, I heard my teammate, Doris Toney, correctly call this work a real opportunity. In the end, we will be better, not only at listening, but at understanding and moving toward real change. This does not mean that we're going to agree on all things on this issue, but I believe it is our chance to improve our culture and offer an alternative to what our students see in the world around them. They see angry faces, angry internet messages, yelling at each other, from polar opposites of every issue, demonizing anyone with differing views. This is our opportunity to be better than that. This is our opportunity to do something different than that. We can show together that our diversity, our differences, our different views, they show our strength when we do not let them drive us apart, but we allow them to drive us to learn more about each other. I know that we can do this. I know it will be hard, but I'm ready for it. And I know you are too. So look for a message from me next week introducing the survey, and please fill it out. Tell your students to fill it out. Tell your colleagues to fill it out. And then come with me, work with me as we learn about ourselves and make this a better place. The last thing I'll share with you is something very related to the topic I just discussed. And it is one of what will be many of our attempts to learn and grow together on this topic. As part of our work to create a more just and equitable community, I'm asking all of you to consider participating in a professional development conference on February 26th. This effort is being led by the Faculty Professional Improvement Committee, and it is for all employees. More details will be available in the coming weeks, and if you can, please reserve the afternoon of February 26th to participate in this conference. Let me finish by speaking directly to you. We're here again at the beginning of the year. In my holiday message to you, I told you that we have a lot of reason to be hopeful and to be optimistic. I look forward to the growth that we will achieve this year at this college together. I look forward to seeing your teamwork lead to new ways of doing an even better job of serving our students and our community. If you're feeling fatigued from working remotely and not seeing your teammates and your students on campus, remember that we will eventually be back on campus. And when we are back together, we will have the benefit of having learned from this high pressure learning activity that we did all this year. And we will know that distance does not determine our success. One thing that I have learned during this pandemic is that we can still succeed together in less than optimal circumstances. I had hoped that that was true, but now I know it's true. And you have shown me this. You have inspired me to keep doing this when it has been the hardest. Your determination and innovations have energized me, kept me getting out of bed each morning, convincing me that we're doing the right things. Your teamwork has been the most important and heartening ingredient in our success. From the bottom of my soul, and from all of our students, I thank you, each of you, for your hard work, for building each other up, and to give our students an excellent individualized service that they need to be successful. Now, all of us will continue to need to pull together to have a successful winter semester. I'll keep communicating with you, sometimes probably more than you'd like. And I ask you to do the same, because I'm here for you. I'm proud of you, I support you, and I believe in you. And I think we've broken a record. I've gotten through a state of the college in less than 70 minutes. And I'm ready to talk with any of you for however long you want until Dr. Perry tells me he needs you all to go to the next meeting. So let me look at the chat. And while I do that, truly, this is probably a good entry to First Fridays. If anyone has any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat and I will address them. And if you're ready to take a break, I'm happy to say, have a great semester to you. I know you instructors know this dynamic. You talk for some time, lecture on a topic, ask for questions, and silence hits you. Long ago, before the pandemic, when I taught in some mode of a remote topic like process like this, I remember it. And then it was one or two questions would dribble in, and then they couldn't stop. So,
Russ.
Yes.
Just a quick question. Are you starting First Fridays this Friday?
Yes, 2 days from now. Michael, good to see you. I see you changed. I thought I saw a cat of prey or a big tiger or something. Now you're a golf ball, which reminds me, I still need to get your golf professional to teach me. But yes, First Fridays will be 2 days from now.
Sounds good.
Amy Helling, congratulations. Are you there? Do you have congratulations on your new role? Did you have a question?
Thank you. I actually just wanted to send a shout out to all the faculty saying Happy New Year, and also to remind everybody, if you have any students that are in your classes that you feel need to be referred to assisted learning services, please don't hesitate and write my email down and call the office. My email is ahelling@hfcc.edu. Thank you. Have a wonderful year.
You too, Amy.
Amy, could you put that in the chat, please? Your address?
Absolutely.
Any other questions for me? All right, well, I look forward to seeing you in whatever format the world will allow us to see each other over this semester. I'm proud of you. I'm excited to keep doing the work that I'm so lucky to do with you. And I thank the trustees for being here. I see you all that are here. I thank Mary Lane for her service to our college and her wise words. And of course, you all know that I really can't even get headed in the right direction in the morning without Kathy Dimitru and Rhonda DeLong. So thank them when you see them. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm pulling for you. We're going to be back on campus sooner than later. All right. Good to see everyone. Have a great semester.